Hi, I'm Mike Field.
I'm Mike Butler.
And welcome to Forgotten Cinema, from console to screen. We're embarking on a 5-part series to break down and discuss movies that are based on video games. Each episode, we'll talk about what we love about the movie or perhaps don't love about it. But as we say on the main show, we'll always recommend you revisit it. And we're not alone on this journey, as we're joined by friend and former colleague Russ Lyman from the Weekly Warp Pod podcast. Oh my God, that's a tongue twister. Who will help us navigate each movie born from the video game world, as he likes to say, bit by bit. If you enjoy this series, we want to hear from you. Forgotten Cinema is on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and of course, YouTube. Drop us a comment, share what you like or don't like about the movie, or just say hello. So let's get into it. What's going on, guys?
What's up?
What's up? Excited to be here.
I'm excited to be here, but I'm not excited about what we're going to talk about.
I don't know why. This was great.
But
this has been a long time coming.
Okay, so do you want to kind of break out down the history there, Butler, in terms of like why we're doing this film first?
Yeah. So we're doing this series. We're doing this film first. This was kind of like the gimme film, because what was it? Season 2, maybe season 3 of Forgotten Cinema. We had our very first guest on the show, and it was Mr. Russ Lyman here, covering the very first Mortal Kombat. And as I recall, your opinion and your anger of doing this movie was quite similar to today.
I was excited. I got to wear a costume for the skits we did there.
That's right. You were a Scorpion, right?
Yep, and you got the dresses.
I got the
Raiden.
That was a good short. That came out well.
Yep.
Yeah. Right. So we did Mortal Kombat, and obviously, that's not a video. That's more just audio version of it. So go back and you can see that. You can hear that on YouTube. You can hear that everywhere else. And yes, I was down on that film, and Butler defended it valiantly. But I swear to God, Butler and Russ, you too. There is no way. There is no defense for Mortal Kombat Annihilation. I mean, I am sorry.
You just wait, sir.
Oof. All right. So
Gosh.
we're going to do this like the main show. I'm going to bust out the facts, and we're going to go through the litany of people that are in this and are involved. We're going to name the names of the people that did this atrocity, and then we'll start talking about the film. All right. So you cut me off. You can do whatever you want. You know the drill. Mortal Kombat Annihilation has a runtime of 95 minutes, rated PG-13, production budget of $30 million. Oh. And this is the worst part. It came out on Friday, November 21st, 1997. Like it was going to do well in the holiday season. Like an Oscar movie time.
Do you remember what the first one did? I can't remember the first ones, but hold on.
The first one made the first one did well.
Well, then that's why they made it like the sequel always does better.
Come on. They had to see the sequel and were like, no.
It was too late. They were committed by then. Hold on.
While you look that up, you got
$23 million opening weekend, total gross 122.
All right, so this opening weekend for Annihilation was 16.7 million. Its domestic total was 36 million. I know. International is 15.4 for a worldwide total of $51.4 million. So clearly not as good. Yeah. Production company was New Line Cinema and Threshold Entertainment, and it was distributed by New Line Cinema. So I said it came out on the 21st. It went up against, let's go back a week to the 14th of November of 1997. You had The Jackal, the movie that Richard Gere and Bruce Willis never shot a scene together. Remember
I have to rewatch that movie, because
you didn't know
when I first saw it when I was growing up, I was like, this movie's great, and I watched it like 2 or 3 times because I thought it was so cool. But then after you told me that, I'm like, oh man, I have to go back now.
Yeah. Did you really remember
never
The Jackal?
had a scene together?
Russ, do you remember The Jackal?
I don't think so. No.
What Mike's talking about is that Gere and Willis didn't like each other. So when they shot the movie, they never are in the same shot together.
I got you.
But Richard Gere is the hero, and Bruce Willis is the main bad guy.
Yeah, they actually have a fight scene. They actually have like a scene and like they're never in the scene together. Like they're stunt doubles and stuff like that.
Right.
You also had on the 14th, The Man Who Knew Too Little, and the re-release of The Little Mermaid, and then a limited release of One Night Stand. The 21st, the day that this film came out, it went up against The Rainmaker, Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, and Anastasia. And then the week after, you had Wednesday openings because you had Thanksgiving. These are the Thanksgiving films of 97. Flubber, Alien Resurrection, Mike, which is what we did.
Hey, we just did on our lead up series to Alien
Right.
Romulus.
And then a limited release of Welcome to Sarajevo. So this film this movie is directed by John R. Leonetti, who's done Annabelle, The Silence, and Lullaby, all horror films. It's got 5 writers. This is three story credits. Yeah, 3 story credits and 2 screenplay credits. So the story credits go to Lawrence Kasanoff, Joshua Wexler, and John Tobias. Kasanoff has done Food Fight, and Wexler has done Lego: The Adventures of Clutch Powers. I don't know if you guys are big fans of that. And Tobias has a story credit, but obviously, I'm sure you both know he's a co-creator of the original game with Ed Boon. So
Right.
I think I believe this movie follows. What the note I wrote was that it follows the Mortal Kombat 3 game. Is that correct?
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, that's
kind of.
That's what, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it does a little bit. The whole movie, and we'll get into it, is an ad for Mortal Kombat 3.
Okay. The screenplay is written by Brent Friedman and Bryce Zabel. Friedman he's a creator of the show Dark Skies, and Zabel wrote the story for Atlantis: The Lost Empire. Cinematographer was John's older brother, Matthew Leonetti, who's done Strange Days, Butler.
Hey, a movie we did on the podcast back in the day, and one of my favorites we've done on the podcast.
And he's done Star Trek First Contact and Weird Science. Composer was
First
George.
Contact is another movie I really like.
Yes, I know. Composer was George S. Clinton. Not the one you're thinking about. He did the Austin Powers series and Brain Scan. Editor was Peck Pryor, who's done Pixels and Terminal Velocity, and it was also produced by Kasanoff, who was an executive producer on Strange Days, and actually I think all the Mortal Kombat movies, but the most recent ones too, even the one that's coming out. All right, this cast, man. Oh my goodness. So there's 3 people in the cast that were in the first film.
Mm-hmm.
I know you guys know the 2 of them, Robin Chow and Talisa Soto, who play Liu Kang and Kitana. But did you know that? Do you know the 3rd one?
The 3rd one is the guy who played Scorpion in the first movie, came back, but he's playing Sub-Zero, right?
He didn't play Scorpion. He played somebody else
Was it Reptile?
Yes. He played Reptile.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Keith Cook came back and played Sub-Zero. You got to take off a stupid mask. You're like, oh, that's what Sub-Zero looks like? Great.
If you played Mortal Kombat 3, you'd know that. And he's a different Sub-Zero than the first. Listen, don't get me started.
Into it.
I'll get you started. So Shao who played Liu Kang, has done Beverly Hills Ninja. Beverly Hills Ninja, Death Race. And he's also in Street Fighter, The Legend of Chun-Li. Soto, who played Katana, is in License to Kill, which is when I was watching this, I'm like, she looks so familiar. And I was like, she's in another movie that I know I don't like her in. And it's License to Kill.
Oh, you don't like her License to Kill? She's fine.
She's not a Bond woman. She's all right. Don Juan DeMarco. She's also in Don Juan DeMarco. James Remar. I felt so bad that James Remar was in this film. I feel like he lost a bet. He plays Raiden. Like TV show Dexter. He's in Oppenheimer. He's in the movie The Girl Next Door. Sandra Hess as Sonya Blade, who is a TV show General Hospital. Lynn Red Williams as Jax. Mike, do you guys know where Lynn Red Williams is from? Do you know who he is? Either of you?
Can't place it. No.
He is Saber from the American Gladiator show. Do you remember?
Wow.
Saber?
Oh, okay.
Yes. So after it's either after this or during this, he becomes Saber for like 5 seasons. Brian Thompson is Shao Kahn. Mike and I know him as the alien bounty hunter from the X-Files TV show. He's also in Cobra and the Terminator. Rainer Schnoen as Chinook. Is that guy in the game? I'm going to ask you a lot of my comments to you guys are going to be like, is this dude in the game? Is this dude in the game?
Chinook's in the games, but I don't think he's in 3. He's later on, but he's a completely his backstory is completely different.
Okay. So he's in the movie The Eiger Sanction. Musetta Vander as Sindel from Kicking and Screaming and Oh Brother Where Art Thou and The Cell. Arena Pentava as Jade. She's in the movie Zoolander. Darren McBee as Motaro he plays Malibu in the American Gladiators. If you remember who Malibu was in the first season. He's also, this is a fun fact, he's toured the pro racquetball circuit for 3 years after this film. So that's a thing.
Wow.
Okay.
Lightfoot as Nightwolf, and I knew he looked familiar because I've seen The Indian in the Cupboard, which he's in, and he's also in Cull the Conqueror, Butler.
Hey, an episode we did that Field also loved.
No, I did not. Chris Conrad is Johnny Cage. I for swear to God, I thought he was the same one in the first film. I thought like, oh, the guy Johnny Cage back from the first.
They
movie.
definitely got generic white guy.
He's in the next Karate Kid and the TV show Patriot. JJ Perry as a list of people: Cyrax, Scorpion, Noob Saibot, and one of the Barakas. Explain to me the Baraka stuff. Explain to me the Tarkatan number 1, the Tarkatan number 2. They're all Barakas.
It's Tarkatan.
I don't give a shit. But
they're
all
not.
Barakas.
Baraka's only one guy.
Why
Baraka's
are there
the name
why
of
are there
the
multiple
character from the movie.
Barakas?
Because they just didn't have any. They just named him Baraka, but it's Tarkatan. They're the species that live in the. They're one of the species that lives in Outworld or whatever.
The Baraka that he fights at the end is like overweight Baraka. It's like Baraka ate
He's
too
so
much.
chunky and his head is huge.
I'm like, what is this?
I almost spit out my soda when I was drinking like a Diet Coke, and I almost spit it out when they first showed him up here on the screen. I swear to you, I almost spit out my drink.
So JJ Perry, who played all these people, is actually the supervising stunt coordinator for John Wick Chapter 2. So I can respect that. Dennis Kiefer as Baraka from The Rundown, and he's done stunts for Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. Ridley, I guess, Sui as Smoke. He's director and stunts of the movie The Wild Couple. Keith Cook, who we talked about before, is in Alita Battle Angel. He plays Sub-Zero. Dana He as Melina, who's in there for not long, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but Melina's barely in this film, correct?
She gets killed real quick.
Okay. Not as quick as the four-armed lady.
Oh,
who
Shiva?
just gets a giant, she walks in and the cage just drops on her.
Well, there's a note about that. We'll get into
the woman that played Melina is actually an Olympic gold medalist in Taekwondo. So there's that.
Oh, nice.
Ray Park is in this film. Butler, I know you're a big Star Wars guy. He plays Raptor number 3
from X-Men.
Yep, and one of the Barakas. Obviously, Butler tells you where he's from. And then, actually, I got 2 more notes. Lance Legault as Elder God number 1 from the movie Stripes, and then Carolyn Seymour plays Elder God number 2. I guess she was the water one. Butler, Russell, you won't know this. I know you don't watch this. Butler, where is she from? What TV show is she from?
I mean, if you're asking only me and not Russ,
yeah,
I'm going to assume Quantum Leap.
Yeah, but you got to tell me what part of Quantum Leap.
I don't know.
She plays the hologram of the evil leaper in Quantum Leap, and then she becomes an evil leaper.
Evil Al?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. That's awesome. That's awesome.
All right, that's enough for these stupid facts for who's in it and stuff like that. All right, guys, I've talked enough. We know how I feel. I think I've been really clear about what I feel, and I will continue. I will continue. I don't know what to ask first or where to start here. I guess
let our guest tell you how he feels.
Well, I that's, you know what? Yeah, Russ. How about this, Russ? Give us your history with this film in terms of when you first watched it and if you've been back to it, and then if anything changed from the initial watches to when you watched it for this. So give us kind of your history with Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Annihilation. I'm pretty sure I watched it when it came out. I don't know if I got to catch it in theaters. It might have been a Blockbuster rental to check it out.
Oh, Blockbuster. Oh.
R.I.P. Maybe it was Tommy K's. I don't know.
Oh, Tommy K's, another one.
Tommy
K's in West Haven, but right, Russ, down in West Haven,
right by Stop and Shop.
Yes,
I was a Milford Tommy K's guy.
Okay, by Bob's.
Well, I used to go to Video Hut in Milford because Adrian worked there, so I would go there and hang out. And
we'd go to Video Hut sometimes. Yep.
So definitely could have been a rental, and I can't remember my initial thoughts, but I know years past. Heavily into video games, started collecting some stuff, and I was working at a retro video game store, and we would get a lot of DVDs traded in. So I must have caught it and said, you know what, I gotta pick this up because I have the first one was such a classic. I gotta grab this one here. Gave it a watch and was like,
classic.
What was this? So on the rewatch, I did have the DVD. I popped it in and I watched all the special features that it had on the DVD.
Nice.
Just to be thorough.
You're punishing yourself?
I was like, I want to make sure. I want to see what they're offering. And I will say, I do miss DVD like splash screens or whatever you would menu screens like that they come up with where you get to like select whatever specials, extra, the trailer. I was like, they don't do this anymore, huh?
So when you watched it back in the day, you hated it. You were not a fan.
Like initially, I can't honestly remember my thoughts. I would think, being younger then and seeing it come out, it feels like there was a lot of fan service. Like if you played the game, they're like, oh, we got to incorporate this because the fans are going to like this. So I feel like they almost lean too much into that. Like they put way too many characters in to just be like, here's another character from the game. Whereas I think the first one having less is more, right? It hit better.
And then so now when you watched it for us, still the same feeling? Now that you're older and wiser and you've watched movies?
What's funny is so I was watching, I popped it in my PlayStation and it was going and I was like, how much longer to this movie? So I hit one of the PlayStation buttons and then I noticed I could watch it in 1.5 speed and I was like, this is better.
Nah, I should have done that. That's smart.
And it gets over quicker and the fights are faster.
Yes, that's smart. I should have done that.
So I watched half of the movie at a faster speed. I was disappointed with the recasting. I'm like, come on. Like we were kind of I forgot his name, but the guy who played Raiden in the first one.
Oh, Christopher Lambert.
Christopher Lambert.
Fantastic for him. Like it fit that role so good. And what's funny is because you brought that up, like me and my wife are now watching through Dexter again. So I'm like
nice.
fresh.
Yeah.
Like,
we
are
did
you
that
kidding
already.
Me?
Yeah. Yeah. Did you see? Sorry, Butler. Did you see New Blood? Have you seen the new one that he did a couple years ago?
Yes.
For Dexter. Yeah. Good. Mm-hmm. Good. Awesome. Yeah. No. Yeah. I'm full. I actually watched the new series that came out.
Right. That's what. We finished that. So then we're like, let's go through the whole series because then the new one's coming out. So it's like perfect.
Yep. Smart. Very smart. I like you, Russ. All right, Butler. I mean, just try to defend this film. I please.
Well, first of all, I do remember seeing this in the theater. It played at the Fourplex. My dad took me and my brother. My mom wanted nothing to do with this film.
Smart woman.
I remember growing up. This wasn't like the best. Like I remember like watching it and having no like real opinion on like quality. It was just a Mortal Kombat film, but I remember watching the original more often than I watched this one.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure we had both on VHS. I'm sure my brother was a bigger fan because he's a huge Mortal Kombat fan. This movie, they do like 58 flips in this movie, and every time they do a flip, I'm like, damn,
so many trampolines.
I've always wished I could flip. I couldn't even do a cartwheel back in the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Shiva looks good. Her arms, the extra pair of arms on Shiva are pretty cool. Even though I'm pretty sure it's just a shorter lady behind her doing this.
You think so? You think it's two people?
There's one or two shots where I do think it's two people. There's one shot where it definitely is her with the prosthetic arm set, and it's just really well done. But I guess it didn't work well enough for a fight because that's why she got squished because they couldn't afford a fight with her.
Oh, I guess
but yet they afforded that freaking Mataro fight that looks like it's on a Nintendo like SNES. Like there's just so much like I don't understand, and I had texted you about this. Like they really committed to the terrible CGI, which is not in the first one that much.
Right?
They were like, let's have them throwing ice and electric, like so much more in this. It's just like. You have every character here, every actor is a stunt double. Just have them fight each other and throw each other off stuff. I will say I liked the Scorpion Sub-Zero fight. I didn't think that was too bad.
Oh,
for like 90s fight stuff, it was okay.
It's not as epic as the one in the first one because that was
right.
Yeah,
I feel like the set design was better.
Yeah. It's like that was okay, but yeah, no, I mean. There's not a lot.
I was going to say,
clearly I was joking. There's not a lot to compliment with this movie.
Why was the Sonya and Milena fight a mud fight?
Yeah.
They're like, let's just
You
yeah,
know
two girls.
why, Russ.
Let's get them
Jax
fighting in
even
mud.
says it later.
Oh my god! Like
you look good in mud, Jax. What you do?
I know. Are they? Well, let me ask you this: in the game, are they like a couple or something?
No, they're partners. There's
Partners,
nothing
yeah.
romantic between them.
Yeah.
It's Sonya Blade and Johnny Cage in the games.
Anyways, to your point about the FX, I found this. Did you see the quote from Kazanov? Like it was like maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, where he talks about how he says, "quote I'm telling you, the special effects in the movie are not the final effects. I never anticipated that someone would take the movie and go, it's good enough. We weren't done. We were never finished that
Wow.
movie. But the studio said, we don't care. We sacrificed quality for business."
Oh, man, that's
So he's just
Get
like,
it out for the holiday.
I mean,
the dragon fight is so bad. Like it can't be the final effects. Even in 1997, people would laugh at that.
I don't know how you approve that. I just don't know how you like. I don't. Whatever those final effects would be, I don't even know if it would. It just.
Well, I said I would love to. I don't know if you watch Corridor Digital on YouTube, and they've done like they redid the Scorpion King scene. I was like, I'd love to see them tackle this and what it could actually.
That would be cool. That's a YouTube channel you'd probably like, Field.
What's that?
Corridor Crew. They're very special effects focused, like how people do things or how you can do it cheaper, and like not like a how to, but just like what you can, just them showing what they have, what people have the capacity to do. It's pretty interesting.
I wonder how the people that did those effects like felt, where they're like, wait, that wasn't even rendered all the way. Like, why did like people getting mad at us? It's like, that's not the finished product.
People probably lost their jobs, would be my guess.
Oh, they were like, I'm not working there anymore. I don't want to do this. I'm out.
But I could totally believe them putting it out, because back then there was no respect for video games. Really, it's not like today where you have games like The Last of Us and the newer God of War games. It's just video games were for kids or teenagers that were going to shoot up schools, basically. And like,
whoa.
Well, that's what they thought of, like Mortal Kombat and Doom. Those were the evil games that were causing people to do evil things.
But those games are not. The story is not the greatest thing in those games. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
no, I think there was no real capacity to do that.
Movies now benefit. Movies based on video games now benefit from video games that are written like movies, that have writers and are treated better. Right. I mean, I don't see how anybody looked at the Mortal Kombat game and was like, yeah, we got to do a movie. We got to do a movie about this.
I mean, it's kind of got decent lore. It's
so,
not.
I mean, now it definitely does with so many games and this and that. I guess there was only a 2-year gap between, so it's definitely like, oh, the first one hit. We need to make a sequel ASAP and get it out in time before we lose the buzz.
Well, give me
who did those games? Was it Activision, Russ?
Back then? I was almost want to say Acclaim, but it might be Activision.
Oh no, I think you're right. I think it is Acclaim.
I know it's an A.
Give me some of the history in terms of the games and the movies. And I mentioned that this film was supposed to had elements of Mortal Kombat 3, but Mike, you said that that's not true. So are there people in this game that aren't in 3 that weren't in the other first 2?
Johnny Cage is not in 3, but I think that's why they kill him off.
They took him out of the game on purpose?
I don't think he's dead in the game for 3. He's just not in the story. But the story for 3 is similar, where Shao Kahn is merging Outworld and Earth together. And a lot of the stages are like the Tower of London and like caves and weird stuff. Motaro's in there, Ermac's in there. I mean, like Russ said, they're just throwing people in there. The only people they don't have are like Stryker and Cabal, but they mention them.
Right. Yeah. Which I'm like, how hard is it to get a white dude cop for Stryker? Just to show
wear a black baseball cap and a blue shirt. You're done.
I'm like, I did like that they incorporated, which was in the game, where in one of the fights they uppercutted him and then he went to a higher level, which in the game you can do that where you uppercut him, they'll go through the ceiling, and now you're fighting on a different stage. So I
vaguely remember that in the game. I didn't play the game as much as you guys played it. I did play it because it was always in the fourplex lobby, so we'd always play it. But I never remembered the animality thing. The whole when they change.
Yeah,
How do you do that in the game? Like, how do you? Is that just
like a fatality? It's just a different
Okay.
combination. So you would either choose: am I going to do a fatality, an animality, or a friendship? You could do as well, where you don't kill them. in babality, right? I want to say you turn them into a baby.
Babality was there by 3. Yeah, at least in Ultimate, it's definitely there.
Right. But yeah, Liu Kang would turn into a dragon and then bite the guy in half, essentially. Which looked better in the game.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of the dialogue in this movie? Specifically from Sindel. Does she shriek in the game? She's in the game, but does she shriek? Is that her thing? Okay.
That's her special power.
She shrieks and she turns into Cyclone, which is why they have that terrible teleportation thing where she spins like she's like Britney Spears on Instagram, and she's not even going fast, and then eventually she turns into a tornado.
I just love when Kitana's like, "Mother, you're alive. Too bad you will die." I'm like, "Whoa, Jesus."
I will heal you with love.
And then at the end, when she tricks them and she goes, "How could you do this to us?" And she's like, "It was so easy," but no explanation. No. How was it so easy? I'm like, and explain how it was easy. What did you do?
Or why?
Yeah. What is happening?
I could definitely see it being almost like a afternoon movie, like straight to TV, like something on Sci-Fi Channel, like something like that, and not a full
Have you seen this
blockbuster?
Like in that way? Have you seen this on TV somewhere? Like just pop it up?
Oh, no.
Okay, because I haven't.
It used to pop up on TV every once in a while back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Well, my parents had the movie channel, so I might be thinking of movie channels, but I think Sci-Fi might have rerun it. I mean, that's the other problem with this, which I think we talked about with the first Mortal Kombat, is that it should be rated R, but obviously R-rated movies were not as like mainstream as they are now.
Mm-hmm.
But like, how are you doing a PG-13 Mortal Kombat? No one bleeds, other than Johnny Cage. No one dies.
Johnny Cage dies easy too.
Johnny Cage doesn't come back to life, even though they let Sindel come back to life as the. You can come back. Johnny Cage, though? Nah, I forgot about him.
The new film is R, right? Is the new one rated R? The one that just came out a couple years ago? Okay. And the new one's coming out, right?
Coming up. Yeah.
When does that come out? Is that this year?
This year, I think, yeah.
Is it really?
Pretty sure.
Did you guys like Nightwolf in this film? Were you guys big fans of Nightwolf and his training?
What training? He's 2 lines and he lets
I know. That's what I'm saying.
I guess they had to have some type of transition to get that animality. Like he's like, "Oh, I'm coming in as a wolf," and you're like, "Oh, you could change too." Like, who's your animal?
Was Nightwolf in the third game?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
I like the note that originally he's wearing he's supposed to wear like a band T-shirt and like jeans. Like he wasn't even supposed to look like him from the game.
Does everyone in this movie wear the same outfit from like video games? Or did they make changes? Did anything not like match with characters?
Pretty sure everyone was spot on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cyrax in there. Yeah.
They look less like plastic in the game though.
Which one's Cyrax? He was a robot.
With Cyrax is the scorpion robot. Yeah, the yellow
one. Whatever that thing.
Which is Sector's move. Or no, Smoke does Sector's move.
What was that when? What was the thing when he had the other? I don't know, ninja come out of him when he hit.
That's Noob Saibot.
What is that? What is that move? What is that thing?
Noob Saibot's another character who's essentially the original Sub-Zero from the first movie.
Oh God!
So when Sub-Zero died, that's the bad Sub-Zero who's part of the Lin Kuei, I want to say, yeah,
Lin Kuei
and
clan.
That bad Sub-Zero killed Scorpion, which is why Scorpion's a demon looking for revenge. But the Sub-Zero we meet in this movie is his younger brother, who's a good guy. But the evil Sub-Zero was cursed to come back as Noob Saibot, who's like this shadow ghost assassin guy.
You've lost me.
And also his name is Tobias Boone, spelled backwards.
My God. Did you know about the third film that they were going to do?
Oh no,
not until I read the notes.
Yeah. So I'll read it. So they were developing Mortal Kombat Devastation. Lambert from the first one was going to come as Lord Raiden. I guess the original Johnny Cage is coming back. A couple other people. I think some of the people like the Jax from this one was going to be it, but they were but the plans fell through because there's two reasons I saw. One was that the rights went back to Warner Brothers and they were like, "Nah, we're not going to do it." But then I read that Hurricane Katrina wiped out all their sets down in New Orleans, and they were just like, "Oh well, I guess it's not going to happen." So I guess they were coming back to do Devastation because that this film did not do well and it was not received well.
Gotcha.
So,
what year was Katrina though? Because when I read that, I was like, wasn't Katrina like 2003, 4?
yeah,
like, were they really going to wait another 7 years until the next game?
Well, I mean, it takes
Next movie, yeah.
Katrina was 2005. So I mean, 97, 2005. That's not that. That's understandable.
Yeah, I guess.
You guess people, all these
but
people
that would be
are hot on other movies because of the success of Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Annihilation. One of the things that I loved in this movie this time was like, so Jade comes in to try to test Liu Kang, whatever that is.
Yeah.
And like the test is his like his honor or his commitment to Katana.
Right.
But he straight up max on her. Like he's just making out with her. And then he goes, wait.
Right.
I can't throw it in. But the rest was okay. This is where I draw the line. And she's like, you passed the test.
Close
no,
enough.
You failed, dude.
You kissed her.
Yeah.
Liu Kang's a man. He's got needs.
Listen, man, it's been like 45 minutes since my girlfriend was kidnapped by assassins.
He's come back and said that, this movie wasn't good too. Like the actor there. It was a 20th anniversary screening of the film. So that's 2017. Robin Shao says he revealed that it was due to a tight budget, tight shooting schedule, and that he was pulling double duties as leading man and fight choreographer so that he couldn't be on the set to supervise the fight between Sub-Zero and Scorpion, which is why if that fight looks different from the other, that's why.
Okay.
And the fight that's between Liu Kang and Baraka, it's not even him playing Liu Kang. It's Tony Jaa. Is that how you say it?
Tony Jaa, yeah.
Yeah. He's playing Liu Kang in those scenes. So he's not even on the set for that. So
wow.
I know that's weird.
Nah, we need you to make out with Jade today. You gotta we got someone else to do your fight.
How about Katana's dumb blades that they had?
Oh man, I hated that.
Yeah, so
when she started beating people with the staff, I was like, what the hell is this aluminum foil crap?
Yeah, you could tell they were
and then she goes,
yeah, and they did not look sharp at all. They looked like they were just dull, like I made, like she was at a Comic-Con and she was walking around.
I mean, same goes for Baraka's like arm blades. Like
which one? Heavy like Baraka?
Could be some EVA foam just flopping around.
Oh, like Shao Kahn's skull on his helmet, which was clearly rubber while he's talking at the beginning.
Oh,
the teeth are like moving, and I'm just like, you couldn't even like cut out a skull from like the Halloween store and put like, oh, so rubbery.
I totally forgot that Paul W.S. Anderson directed the first film, but I did see the note where he didn't do this movie because he went to go do Event Horizon.
What movie we did on the podcast?
Exactly. But because this film did so bad, it's one of the reasons why he stays involved. Where he stayed involved in the Resident Evil series and the sequels, because he just, even though he's not directing, he wants to make sure they're not going to be a Mortal Kombat Annihilation bad. So I guess this movie is like a kind of like a what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of a harbinger of what things to come if you don't stay with the franchise that you started.
Right.
I mean, this movie is not good. I mean, I'm just going to say this movie is not good.
I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, even if you like the games.
You need to find something good in everything. You gotta find something good. You always tell me when I hate a movie, so I just told you. It's
a harbinger of what's to come. If you don't do a good movie, it's how not to do a movie. What can I say I like about this film? Nothing. It is laughable. I cannot believe the scene when Raiden just shows up and his hair's cut and he's got a new outfit. He's like, "Hey, what? New do, new look." I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" He's just like, hey guys, new look, new do." I'm just like, God damn. I think I wrote in the note, poor James Remar. Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Like, I want to apologize to him.
He was playing with his long gray hair a little too much at the beginning, so I'm kind of glad they cut it. He's just like, and I'm just like, what? Stop touching your wig.
There's a ton of scenes that feel like out of place. They feel like they don't mesh. Nothing connects. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that,
let's say with the multiple writers, right?
Yeah, and also, but you said you watched the special features. Was there a lot of cut scenes or edited scenes out that they took out for the film?
They didn't show cut scenes. No, there was like sketches of like you could see of like the characters that were going, and then what else was on there that kind of stood out? It wasn't a whole lot of like behind the scenes stuff there, unfortunately. I wish I could have had more for sure. But yeah, like you said, some of the stuff, it just like doesn't connect well with the flow. Mm-hmm. You're like, what is happening?
Was there anybody in this cast that you guys were like, I know this movie's terrible, I don't like it, but this person is doing a good job as this person? Like, is this person doing a good job? Is there anyone in this cast you can say that for?
Liu Kang, right?
Yeah, Liu Kang's good.
Yeah, that's it.
I feel like he's the guy that's like, you're assigned the project and he's doing all the work and everyone's just slacking. And you got to turn it in. You're like, well, it was a piece of crap, I guess.
So everybody else is either phoning it in or just not good. That's what we're saying here.
I think Brian Thompson kind of, not that he does a good job, but I think he's really enjoying being Shao Kahn.
Is he a Shao Kahn? Yeah, I think he was good fit for the role for sure.
Mm-hmm. He looks the part, and he's definitely, he knows, like, he gets the assignment. He's like, this isn't good. I'm going to say my lines as terribly overdone Shakespearean as I can and do this weird accent, like tinge to the end of each sentence.
I think that's his accent, though. I think that's how he talks.
Oh, does he actually? I know he has like a weird voice.
I went on I went down a rabbit hole on his stuff. He's like a classically trained actor who's done Broadway and stage plays and worked with a lot of, so he's like somebody who is trained, and he actually prefers comedy. He prefers to do comedies. He just doesn't do comedies because they don't cast him as in comedies. They cast him in these. Yeah. So, but yeah, no, I thought that was interesting. Like, just kind of like his background. But hey, it's a job, paying the bills, right? Well, what I want to, I've got a couple critic reviews, but before I get to those, well, I'll get to those. Let me get to those right now, because I had another question for you guys. But let me get to Jason Gibner from All Movie goes, quote, "Whereas the first film was a guilty schlock pleasure, this sequel is an exercise in the art of genuinely beautiful trash cinema." So he kind of enjoys how bad it is.
I think he likes it more than the first. Like, I was on board with him at first, where it's like the first one's enjoyable schlock, but this is straight up trash.
So I don't know if it's fun trash, though. I mean,
no, it's not. It's not. I would just rather watch the first one again. I don't think I could ever watch this movie again.
Wow.
I mean, that's not to say I won't.
Marjorie Baumgarten from the Austin Chronicle says, quote, "Nothing more than a perpetual chain of elaborately choreographed fight scenes that are linked together by the most flimsy and laughable of plot elements." I mean, elaborately choreographed fight scenes?
I agree with the flimsy reasons that you need to get there, but yeah, it's not very elaborate.
Damn, it felt like they were just like, and then we do what? And we just tackle, we roll down, and then just throw a couple kicks, and
you spin
58
times. Someone did the math.
And then my last one is from R.L. Schaefer from IGN from 2011. He goes, "Mortal Kombat Annihilation is a bad movie. No way around it. Over the years, however, it has evolved into a cult hit of sorts, playing as an unintentional comedy, a spoof of the early video game movies and their painfully obvious cash-in mentality." I did not laugh at all watching this film. In fact, I fell asleep watching this film, and I had to rewatch it the next morning.
I lost about 10 minutes on my phone, and I had to rewind the Melina scene. Like, the fight started, and it was such a terrible fight. I found
But
myself
there's
on my
mud.
phone and like they were like, wait, yeah, he said the mud line, and I was like, well, why is there mud? Oh, I missed the whole fight. I had to rewind it.
Jackson has stupid arms.
They're so thick. The arms are like
They're dumb,
gigantic. I don't know how he holds anything with those
They,
fingers.
they bust into this. They bust into this secret laboratory where he's laying on his bed, and there's nobody else there.
Well, to be fair, I always thought that when I was younger. I was like, I don't get it, but it's because they ran after it teleported from Outworld. It's not where it's supposed to be.
Fair, get lost. To be fair, no, terrible.
Also, what was that thing after the mud fight? Then what was that like weird
the
monster
creature?
thing that just came out, and then he's just like punching air?
It eats smoke too. No, it eats rain in his temple. At first, I thought it was Reptile, but Reptile's in they have two of the Reptile guys in the movie.
Right.
So yeah, who is that guy?
I don't know, like where that came from. That's not in the lore.
I
get.
get.
Had
I
this terrible half meat monster eating people.
What I wanted to ask you before was that I don't know if we talked about this in Mortal Kombat the first time we first movie we did, but if we did, that's fine. We can go through it again. I'm curious what your history is with the video games. How far have you played them? Were you into them? Did you own them at home? I'm curious, and we can start with you, Russ. Just kind of what is your history with the games?
Yeah, I mean, I first saw Mortal Kombat 1 at a local convenience store. I go up there, watch the kids play. It definitely was like mind blown seeing Scorpion's fatality for the first time, like taking his mask off and it's a skull and he just burns the guy and it's like fatality. And I was like, this is awesome. Trying to find quarters where I could to get up to the convenience store and play. And then weekends, my mom would work at the AMF bowling alley in Milford. I'd go with her. They had a small arcade in there, but walking distance, I could go to Milford Rec or Smiles, which was the big arcade. So that's where I saw Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat 3, and I would play them or watch people play them there. This way I can see all the fatalities and they knew all the combos and everything there. Then purchasing, the games for the home console. I didn't get all of them. I had Mortal Kombat 1 and 2, played those. I don't think I ever got 3 for the home console, and then just kind of missed a big gap of them because, they came out for like PlayStation and PS2 and all that, and I had never gotten any of those. And I only had just recently got back into it with Mortal Kombat X, and then 11 just came out, and then I think we're on 12 now.
Which is just Mortal Kombat.
No. Right. Oh, yeah.
Mortal Kombat 1 now.
Right. It loops back to Mortal Kombat 1 because they reset the timeline there. But
oh, really?
The newer games are very heavy story driven, and I like how the single player mode gets you to play all the characters, but they incorporate it into the story. So like you'll see something with Jax and then it breaks down to a fight and you're playing as Jax. Then it moves on to the next scene and you're playing as another character. And if you just watch just the cutscenes like on YouTube, it's like a full movie. It's like a, an hour and a half on some of them or longer. So I went down a rabbit hole of like, what's all the lore of, each character and just watching a ton of videos, and certainly interesting. And they just got more and more lore since the games have gone on and backstory for each characters. And yeah, it's certainly fun if you enjoy the series. And I guess this movie tried to do it some justice, including stuff from the games, but having that many writers, probably not knowing a ton of the source material, probably hurt it.
Yeah. So I would assume that what the 4 or 5 or all those other ones that came out were strictly towards the console. They because I know that you had a shift obviously from arcades to home consoles.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I wonder if that you losing touch with it is probably a big part of that.
Right, not seeing it at the arcades.
Yeah. Butler, what's your experience? Oh, sorry, go ahead, Russ. Yeah, keep going.
Well, they did try to switch up the gameplay a little bit, and there was like Sub-Zero Mythologies, I think is one of the games, and it was more of like an adventure style game rather than just fighting. So they're like, maybe we can dive into this genre. but
those had full live action cutscenes too. That game,
right? So it's like I don't know. And I'm trying to. I was trying to think. I don't think they did what Street Fighter did, where Street Fighter had the game based on the movie as a game. So it was like Street Fighter the movie as a game. So you're playing as Jean-Claude Van Damme from the movie, but it's a game. Like they just repackaged it.
Oh, that's smart. That's smart. Butler, what was same experience as Russ? Were you into it deeper?
I think I was into it deeper just because my brother was, like I said, a massive fan of it growing up. We played it at the arcade. I think that's probably where we first played it. Was probably an arcade machine, the first game, and then we bought 1 and 2 on Sega Genesis. Mm-hmm. We played it together constantly. My brother, I could not do a fatality when I was younger. I couldn't do a fatality for the life of me, and he would constantly do fatalities. And he ended up memorizing every character and every fatality, like some kind of Rain Man for Mortal Kombat video games. Are ridiculous.
47 cheese balls.
So, we grew up playing the games together. Mortal Kombat 3 came out. We got that. Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 came out. We got that. Mortal Kombat 4 came out on Nintendo 64. We played Sub-Zero Mythologies. I did not play the Sonya Blade Jax military third-person shooter game.
That came out. I don't think I heard of that one.
I think it's on PS2. Okay. I never played that. Then they came out with, I think, Mortal Kombat Defiance, which was on Dreamcast. I played that, and then I went to college before or during when the next one came out after that. Mm-hmm. So I didn't have a console up at school. I know my brother got it, but didn't play it as much. So I kind of dropped out until Mortal Kombat. It was called Mortal Kombat, came out on 360 and PlayStation 4. And that was the first one to do like a ton of cutscenes in the story and kind of redo the original story.
Was that picked up by like NetherRealm Studios? I feel like
this is when NetherRealm Studios kind of took control. John Tobias, because Ed Boon, I guess, doesn't want anything to do with it anymore, or something. They had a falling out, him and Tobias, or maybe vice versa. But either way, so then there was Mortal Kombat X, which is probably one of my favorite in recent memories. Me and my buddy Dave played Mortal Kombat X for like hours and hours and hours. 11 and now Mortal Kombat 1. So yeah, I've put hundreds of hours into these games. Russ, what's your favorite character?
I mean, probably Scorpion. Definitely a good one. I will say I ended up pre-ordering Mortal Kombat 11, and I went to pick it up at GameStop. They were doing like 9 p.m. releases instead of midnight, and with the pre-order,
it's getting old.
I know, get you home early. It came with a mask that you can wear that looks like Scorpion. And
that's cool.
And I went home. I had picked it up on the Nintendo Switch, and I went home and live streamed it right away. And I got a ton of people watching it because they were curious how it would look on the Switch opposed to a like PS4 or Xbox One at the time. You're like, is it going to look crappier? Like, how's it hold up?
Wasn't it that the big thing though? Wasn't it like awful?
Well, then you also have versus like, does it look docked and does it look like handheld mode? Because then you get different frame rates and all that. But then that being, I'm not sure about Mortal Kombat and the 360, but with X, 11, and 12, obviously it's all online now, so you can fight people online. So that gave it a bigger element, and you're like, oh, I want to play more, like because I could play against my friends or people I know or people I don't know, and do more matches that way, and rather than just always fighting the computer.
Yep.
While you guys are talking, I'm just looking at all the games that have come out. What is Mortal Kombat Onslaught?
That one's not ringing a bell.
It came out in 2023.
Oh, is it a mobile game?
Oh, you know what? It's on. Yeah. It's on Android. It's on a phone. It's for the phone.
Oh, okay. So yeah, don't know that one.
Well, my question, because Butler brought it up about your favorite character, but I'm curious. What's your most? What is the toughest fatality for you to do when you're playing the game? I'm gonna assume the easiest is whatever Sub-Zero does, right? Because that's the one I could do. But what was your toughest? What's the toughest fatality to master? For you guys, when you're playing, you don't even try it anymore.
I mean, I would. The other end, I would go with Scorpion would be the easiest than Sub-Zero.
Easiest one,
It's just block, and then you hit up, and that's it to get it done. I mean, just remember, I feel like it's tough just to pull them off if you're not like
If you
picking
don't
a
have the game
character that
guide
you're right.
right next to
Right.
you,
Oh, right. You got to know
the
the
old game manual.
distance and
Well,
where you got to stand and the
would you not
buttons.
play certain characters because you were like, I can't do these moves?
Right. Anytime now I play, it's like I only remember certain moves. Like I can do
Right.
Sub-Zero's moves, but I don't remember his fatality. I only remember Scorpion's. So it's tough having, they're adding more and more characters, and it's hard to remember 12 move sets plus fatalities, animalities, and all that. That's why I do like in the newer games, they have options where you can just hit a like combination button that just does it for you. You don't have to be like up, down, left, X, Y, B.
Okay.
They've also got the new pin thing that they had like for the last few, where you can pin moves to the screen, so you can see them. So you don't have to like go into a game manual; they're just right there.
Oh, okay, like an overlay.
They're in the top, yeah, it's an overlay, so it's in the top corner, so you don't have to memorize. So you're like, oh, I've never played this guy. All right, I got like
Well,
4
like back in the
moves.
day, you like had to. It wasn't easy to figure out what the moves were, like or what the
Right.
combinations were, unless somebody figured them out. And you could like now,
Yeah.
obviously, you can get them online or people that just tell you. But back in the day, you had to like discover them on your own.
Well, there was the
Right.
game manual with a few, but then they always had like the back of like the Sega Genesis manual had like the lines for notes.
Right.
So as you figured them out, you could write them down in the book.
I mean,
and
I'm
get it
sure there
done.
was a strategy guide that you could pick up with all the move sets.
Prima or
Yeah.
Prima game
Right.
strategy.
Because I have one for Killer Instinct was another fighting game similar to Mortal Kombat with fatalities and everything. And
Killer Instinct, that's a hard one to do any moves in.
so I remember browsing through that and it's like, oh, here's all the moves. So like you said, either you had to ask a friend and like write it down and try to remember it and maybe just play that character so you get good at it and remember all the moves. So when you go to the arcade or whatever, you can perform it. But it's so much pressure, right? When you get to it, it's like dun, dun, finish him, and you're like, what was it? Back left, and then you mess it up, and you barely have time to try it again, like one more time.
Or you scooch forward and it's supposed to be a back one, and you're like, no, why did I go forward?
Gosh,
So did you get? So I'm gonna list these games out, and you can tell me if you played them.
Okay.
I already know you did a bunch of them, like Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah,
What's the difference between? I guess Ultimate Mortal Kombat is the third one. That's what they called it.
Well, it's Mortal Kombat 3, and then Ultimate's got pretty much every character from 1 and
All right.
2.
And then Mortal Kombat Trilogy.
Yeah,
What is
you're
that?
just playing
does have
all
every
three
single
games.
character.
Yeah,
And okay, then Mortal Kombat 4, then Mortal Kombat Mythology, Sub-Zero. Mike, you were talking about that.
right.
Mortal Kombat Gold.
I remember that on Dreamcast. Yeah.
Okay. Mortal Kombat Special Forces. You were talking about that, Butler, right?
That's the Sony Blade one. Yeah.
Yep. Mortal Kombat Advance. That's a Game Boy one.
Wow.
No.
I will say I played it on the Game Boy, and that's an impressive feat, having 2 buttons.
Trying to do everything.
Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I remember seeing that.
Mortal Kombat Tournament Edition.
No.
That was on Game Boy as well. Excuse me. Deception. Mortal Kombat Deception.
Yep.
So that's just the regular game.
Yeah, it's the regular game. I think that was also on either PS2 or Dreamcast or something.
Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks.
Oh, that's another third-person one.
Okay.
I think I watched
I never played it.
the Angry Video Game Nerd do a episode on some of these oddball ones.
Armageddon.
Yep.
Heard of that one. Haven't played
Ultimate
it.
Mortal Kombat. That's Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe.
Yep.
Then
It's like toned down. It's like rated T for teen. So like they couldn't do their full fatalities, and like Superman was there, so he had a fatality, but no one could die.
Right. Yeah, that's like a weird line you have to walk.
I guess they just call this Mortal Kombat, but I guess it's Mortal Kombat 9 that came out in 2011.
Yeah. That they tried to like basically reboot it.
Yeah. Then Mortal Kombat X, which you talked about at 11's got Mortal Kombat 11 has like a bunch of different games. Are these all
versions?
Like, yeah, weird. And then you just talked about Mortal Kombat 1, which is what you said it was 12, but that they went back to the beginning.
Yeah, they did like a reboot. Yeah. With
So
the series there.
Did they just did they get rid of a lot of the characters, or all the characters are in there?
They're in there, but basically Liu Kang becomes a god at the end of 11.
11, yeah.
And like the time. It's like kind of like a comic book. The timeline's so messed up, and they don't know what to do with the story, so they go, it's time to reboot from the beginning. And then Mortal Kombat 1 is like, yeah, well, you also screwed this up. So some characters, like my favorite character is Reptile, and usually he's a bad guy or just works for himself. But he's like super honorable and a good guy in this. And like Shao Kahn is like, isn't Shao Kahn's just a general? He's just like a kind of a puss still so far.
Yeah,
like,
see, I haven't picked this one up yet.
oh, you didn't? Yeah, the story's pretty good. It gets really stupid at the end in like a really fun way with the multiverse stuff. But yeah, it's pretty good, but it also has a lot of microtransaction crap. So it's like the story mode's fun, but the multiplayer is kind of like it's kind of.
Well, I was going to bring up. I know in at least Mortal Kombat X on the big thing is them bringing other characters in that you can use to fight. There was
the combatants.
Yeah, you can get like well, there's like Jason you could play as, like Freddy was in it, RoboCop.
Oh, crossover guys. Yep,
right.
T-1000's in this
T-1000,
one.
Yeah.
And the newest one, he comes out in a couple weeks. The Peacemaker's in it, Homelander's in it. So they've got a couple of crossover guys already in Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah, so I always thought that was pretty cool.
All right, so just to wrap this up, Annihilation is a turd. No one likes it. It makes the first one look like the greatest thing of all time.
I know.
Did it change your opinion of the first one at all?
No, I don't know if I honestly can't remember what I said in that episode, but I think there was more hype for that movie because of the game. You know what I mean? It was like, because the game was so popular and like, oh my God, they're making a movie about it and they got the characters. I think there was a lot more hype around it, but any good that came out of that game in any way is completely buried and destroyed after this film.
I wonder, because of how you mentioned the box office was so much lower, I feel like every parent took their kid to see Mortal Kombat, right? Now the second one's coming out. They're probably like, I don't want to take it. We already saw Mortal Kombat. I don't want to go again. Like the parents aren't bringing the kids. So then there's less ticket sales. So
it clearly didn't have good word of mouth. I mean, if this came out in 97 at the Fourplex, I probably worked it, no doubt. And I probably, wait a minute. No, I worked it. And I probably sat there waiting to clean it, and people coming out of that theater just probably like, what the heck did we just watch? Like, it probably was one of those. I can definitely say without a doubt, I cleaned the theaters for Mortal Kombat Annihilation. So
hey, you cleaned one of my auditoriums.
I probably did it. If you probably threw your food on the ground like a jerk.
I never did that. We were not allowed to come back to a theater if we left food in the seats or anywhere.
Oh, very nice.
Yes. Like, you get it dirty, you never see a movie again. What's the next movie you want to see? That was my punishment. You can't see the next movie that comes out. That's why I never saw Dragonheart in theaters.
Aw.
Yeah, I got grounded.
All right. So, I mean, that's it. I don't want to talk about Annihilation anymore. We kind of ran through the Mortal Kombat games. I guess if we're going in order, the next one we're going to be doing for this series, we're doing a series of 5, like I said in the beginning. The next one we're doing is the Tomb Raider film, the Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider, just so we're aware of this, okay? The first one.
Right.
We're doing the first one, not the second one, not the Alicia Vikander one. Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider. We're going to do that one. I did see this one, so we're good there.
Stayed awake.
Well, we'll see. I got to watch it again. We will see.
Oh, right.
We will see. So this is cool, Russ. It's always a pleasure to have you on and to kind of talk movies. And it's cool that I know some stuff of video games, but I obviously don't know as much as you guys both know. And I always hear Mike's opinion, so who cares? I'd rather hear somebody new. So it's good that you have you on there. All right, so Russ, why don't you give us a little? Why don't you let the fans know, our tiny audience know where they can find you, and what you're up to these days.
Absolutely, yeah. If you guys want to check out a podcast I'm a part of, it's called The Weekly Warp Pipe, and it's all about nostalgia. Us jumping in the warp pipe and going back, talking about video games, clothing, toys. A whole bunch of stuff, even movies. We just did a ranking of movies that came out in 1985. So we ranked them in S to D tier, and that was a good one. And I also do YouTube as well. Russ Lyman is my channel, so I do a lot of video game DIY on there, building custom consoles, controllers, game hunting. I just started a series called Nintendo Go, where I'm going to go through all the NES games on the system, which is 677. So it's going to be a long series. We'll see if I get to all of them.
Good luck.
But definitely always got some fun stuff going on there. You could follow me on Instagram, TikTok, all those stuff at Russ Lyman. Easy enough.
Nice. Butler, where can they find us?
You can find us at ForgottenCinemaPodcast.com or wherever you get your podcasts. You're watching, listening, whatever you're doing with us right now. Why don't you go ahead and like, subscribe, rate, comment. Who's your favorite Mortal Kombat character? Let us know if you actually liked this movie. And, God, why? Let us know in the comments below. We're never right. We're always wrong. Opinions are subjective, except maybe for this movie. If you want to support our show further, we're on Patreon, Forgotten Cinema Patreon. We get exclusive episodes. We did our look back series where we're looking back at different films. We just did The Things, timed exclusive episodes. We've got access to our Discord, merch discounts, all that good stuff. You can go to our merch store and get some merch, or like I said, just like, rate, subscribe, spread the word for Forgotten Cinema. Let us know what you think of this series and if we should do more special series like this.
Yeah, and be on the lookout. I know we kind of discussed this, but we might pop up on one of Russ's videos in correlation with this. We're not sure yet, but we'll figure that out. And then join us next week or the next time this comes out for next series for our Tomb Raider episode. Russ will be back, and we'll have some good old fun talking about an archaeologist that's not Indiana Jones. So I am Mike Field.
I'm Mike Butler.
And this has been Forgotten Cinema from console to screen. This movie's terrible.
Finish him.